Yes, I'm honored to give the HerStory Award on behalf of Women's Federation for World Peace USA and recognize hereby Reverend Tina Brown on this day, June 25th, 2022. We honor your commitment to uplifting, motivating, and providing spiritual leadership to many based on your journey of overcoming unimaginable obstacles. We applaud your selfless service to the community filled with love and compassion, and so much more, I have to add. Congratulations, Reverend Tina. Take it away. Reverend Tina.
First, I'd like to thank Susan for the introduction, and I've known her for quite some time, and she is the one who invited me to attend one of the Global Women's Network events. And so I'm deeply honored, and I'm humbled, and I give thanks for this opportunity to be here with all of you women. I want to acknowledge my children, Tay, Balin, and Emery, and my oldest son, Nathaniel, and the love of my life, David Fewley. Without them, I wouldn't be here today. I've overcome many obstacles in my life, beginning with my birth. Doctors wanted to take me 3 months into my mother's pregnancy. She needed an emergency surgery, but she refused. And of course, I survived that surgery, and she did as well. And here I am. So I was brought into this world to be an overcomer. And I know that through my life experience. I lived with my grandmother most of the first 10 years of my life, and she raised me in church, in a Pentecostal church, and I formed my beliefs there about humankind and those who were different from me through a sermon preached on Judge Not Lest You Be Judged. And then in the same sermon, criticism of other religions and faiths. At 3 years old, I understood that message, and I realized that there was judgment taking place. And in my mind, I discerned that we're all children of God, no matter what race, color, religion, or background, and that God must love us all the same. That became the foundation of my life. I had a very difficult life growing up, overcoming childhood abuses, abandonment, neglect, sexual abuse, and the instability of more than 40 moves during my childhood, multiple marriages of my mother, 26 different schools from my kindergarten year to my senior year. And at an early age, I made a conscious choice and decision to change that family history and break the cycle. I knew that God had called me and that there was a purpose for my life as I was moving through all of these experiences. My grandmother laid a foundation for me to have great faith in God and to love people and to treat people with kindness and compassion and care, as she did for me. And I'm so eternally grateful for her because she laid that foundation for the woman that I am today. I've had many failures in my life, and I have moved through them by the grace of God. At age 21, my best friend introduced me to the Unity Church, where I felt spiritually at home and the freedom to love people from all walks of life, from all sacred paths, freely, without fear of judgment. And I began to grow spiritually and heal in my life from my past. It was very caring and nurturing and compassionate. And I use my life experiences to help others. I helped a lot of young people and older people through counsel and sharing my stories and showing them how I healed through the neglect and the abuse. I became a single mother at age 31, and to my, I call him gift from God, Nathaniel. And I began pioneering a church at age 38 with a small group, which led me into going to Unity School of Christianity for the spiritual education courses to become a licensed Unity teacher for those classes. But I suddenly found myself dealing with both my mother and my father having cancer. And they both made their transition that same year, the same year that I opened my custom design sewing business just a few months before. So I had all of these things going on. And then within a period of 3 years, I lost 17 people in my life, friends, family, congregants. I was called into ministry at the graduation of those SEE classes. And I know that God opened the door because I did not fit the requirements, yet they opened the door for life experience as the equivalent to a bachelor's degree. During that year, I entered, and I prayed and I asked for guidance and asked God to guide me and lead me. And if this was my path, to open the door, and as long as it was open, I would walk through it. I graduated in 2005, came home, was running my business, pastoring my church, and my 3 beautiful children came to me. And in 2008, the economy crashed, yet we survived and made it through. And then once our adoption was complete, shortly thereafter, I decided I needed a short sabbatical and merged our church back to the Little Rock Church, or with it, and began co-pastoring part-time and running my business. I was called to Unity of Phoenix in 2014. I closed my business after a minor injury. And I knew again, called my best friend and I said, I think I'm moving to Phoenix. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, I just got a call and offered a position at the church in spiritual education and over special events. And she agreed, I think you're moving to Phoenix. And I did, across the country with my 3 children. And here I am serving God. In 2017, I had 2 surgeries and 5 MRIs with contrast that left me severely toxic with heavy metal poisoning. With all the things that I've been through in my life, that by far was the hardest thing I ever had to deal with. Nothing had ever stopped me in my tracks. I was able to persevere through my faith and through my energy and through my love and move on through the experiences of life that I had. But this put me into the bed for nearly 3 years. The toxicity and the inflammation that I developed in my brain and my eyes, my organs, throughout my body system, and the fibrosis caused debilitating pain. I was forced to resign from my position in ministry full-time. And for 3 years, 14 specialists searched for answers to my illness, not knowing what it was. God gave me a persistent spirit, and I refused to give up. After the last MRI, I developed heart symptoms and arrhythmia and was taken to the emergency room. I came home from that trip and I discovered that I had gadolinium deposition disease. I prayed to God and was in fear for my life because I'd already had many close experiences to leaving this world. Thank God for my children and for Dave, but they kept me focused on trying to get through this illness. There were many nights I prayed to be taken in my sleep because of the pain. But I persevered, and through my own research, I found the information about the heavy metal toxicity and gadolinium poisoning. But then all the research papers, scientists and physicians said that there was no way to be healed. There was no cure. There was no way to get the gadolinium out. There was no treatment. They hadn't even acknowledged it until the year 2018. And this was 2019. My doctors were at a loss. That many of them dismissed me, and I was left to just suffer and be in pain and try to deal with it on my own. After my prayer, I prayed and I spoke with God. I told him, I know you didn't bring me this far to fail. I know you didn't bring me here to this ministry, that you didn't give me my children to take me now and not be here to complete my purpose. And I prayed for an answer. And I said to myself out loud, if the gadolinium can get in your body, there's got to be a way to get it out. There's got to be at least one person in this world working on it. And I asked God for guidance. I got finished with that prayer and onto my computer, and I Google searched world-renowned specialists for gadolinium deposition disease and found Dr. Richard Semelka. And through the loving support of my beloved Dave, I began treatment in August of 2019 in North Carolina, traveling monthly for 2 years, chelating each month, where he had developed a method that was strong at removing the toxicity substance. And I was getting high levels out of my body. I began to heal, but I had many, many problems in my body, including oxidation and mitochondrial dysfunction, nutritional deficiency, and destruction to the microbiome, leaky gut and leaky cells, and anemia, and I was a mess. But through the chelation process and persevering through it, I've been able to get the toxicity level down to extremely low levels and began IV nutritional infusions with Dr. Martha Kraut. And today I am healing miraculously, improving what scientists said couldn't be done, that it can be done. I've become a patient advocate for Dr. Semelka for patients throughout the world suffering with gadolinium deposition disease. I sit on his board of directors for GadTract, a nonprofit helping those with gadolinium get treatment. I serve my community, planning special events for interfaith groups and bringing people together with diverse backgrounds. It is a passion of mine, and I look forward to doing much more of it. And I spend time with my family, and I'm grateful to be here, to still be here with my brave children who for 3 years practically raised themselves while I was ill. I'm truly honored to be here, to be able to share my story. I've hopefully touch someone's heart or life. And I pray that I'm able to continue for a very long time to share and to help others through my compassionate understanding and pastoral care services and serving the world to create a better place to live. With that, I just want to thank all of you for the opportunity to share my story with you and give thanks to God for my life.
Thank you so much, Reverend Tina. Thank you. And for those of you it took me a little bit to fully understand and appreciate how Reverend Tina turned around a human-made medical challenge into God's work. That's miraculous. Only through the hands of healing in the heart, mind, and body can we help others to heal as well, through grace and spirit. And we are so glad you're with us. Thank you. Now, our next honor